I'm in the mood today. I'm in the mood to listen to some good music. I'm recording this on a Friday, so I'm like just happy that it's Friday. But also big advancements. Yesterday I finished my pilot and I'm very proud and happy that I have that now. And now I'm working on writing on other things, so I will let y'all know whatever happens in the future with any of that stuff. So I'm on a bit of a creative high, and that means that I am ready to take in more musical inspiration, writing inspiration. Just you can grab inspiration from anything creative that you appreciate. And I feel like with this album today, we may get a little piece of that. If I remember correctly, the song that I loved most off of Jessie Ware's last album was Soul Control. I'm going in with no knowledge at all, but from her previous work, I know that I've had a lot of fun listening, so I'm very excited to see what we've got coming up for us.
That feels good. That's good. Do it again.
The first group I thought of was the Commodores, because we are getting funky. We are getting 70s. I'm thinking of bell-bottom pants. We're strutting down the street. Everybody's got an afro.
Take you to the rooftop in the basement. Do it well.
I love the atmospheric sound of this song. It almost felt like I could be watching a recording of this, like if this was live with the band. And there's so many funky specific embellishments that I'm hearing, you know, whether the guitar has a little bit of a, I wouldn't say solo, but has some twangs as we're plucking strings, or I think I heard a saxophone. I don't even really remember because there's so much about this that is just immersive.
Everybody gets a little modest and shy sometimes. Just remember, pleasure is alright. Chicken and love, champagne, shake, 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 shake.
As an opening for a song, this is my ethos entirely. Like, everything should just feel good. Well, not everything, because I guess you need to feel bad things too in order to have an emotional spectrum. But if you're moving with that loving intention, if you're moving with a spirit of goodness, like a song like this is only going to bring you more joy, because I love when things feel good. Things should feel good more often. The entire point of this channel is to have us talk about music in a way that feels good for us, that makes it feel alive. And to open an album with a song this powerful that has so many repetitive lyrics that's just about feeling good is exactly what I want.
Feels good.
Also, this album cover, She's eating. She looks beautiful. I loved the soft pastel gradient we have going on in the background. The curls look hydrated, and the wisp of hair that's sitting on her face is phenomenal. The look over the shoulder, over her eye, really gives us an element of regality from, I don't know, I guess movies, or shall I say pictures of the 1950s, I want to say. And there's an incredible amount of intimacy that's held within this photo. But given that the eyes, I don't know, I guess I can't tell if they are, it looks like the eyes are directed at us, but the face is directed diagonally. So it's kind of confusing, which I'm sure is intentional. And to have all this glamour and then to not have your nails done, or at least to have a clear coat or a lighter shade so it doesn't look like it is digging into the extravagance of the pearls, is suggestive of this nudity that we're seeing, the stripping of self, the poise and the regality, and the new confidence that we are feeling from possibly what was taken from us. That was so good. I love the tempo. I love that we were dancing in a groove and then we strip it down and we just have the piano going, because that is the through line of the entire song. Again, we have another track that is just repeating a sentiment. Right now we're freeing ourselves. First we were saying what feels good. Now we're freeing ourselves, and it's such a danceable track. It's something that gets you really invigorated. Like I'm having full body chills right now.
Only obsession, motivation.
Wow, Jessie. Wow. I mean, this kind of brought me back to two things. First, music that we would hear a little bit in the 80s and the beginning of the 90s. And I guess not 80s in the sense that there's a lot of bass in it, but that if you were to hear the live cut or the somewhat more acoustic version of a song that would have a lot of synth in it, that would be 80s pop, it would sound something like this. It reminded me a lot of some of my favorite Sylvan Esso tracks that came off of the 2017 album What Now, where I just felt, again, those are a little bit more electronic, but it gave me that same sense of freedom in the lyrics, danceability, and also like not feeling so beholden to the track that I need to sing every word. Like, this is one of those projects, from what I'm understanding right now, where I can just let the artist sing. I'm a part of the song. It's coming alive with me. This is going to be an inappropriate comment, but this song sounds like a certain white powdery substance that people use at parties through there, because this has the juice. You could have told me that this was made, well, that's a lie. I feel like there's certain parts of it that sound quite modern, in that we're not moving at the pace, or rather we're not interjecting enough slowness into songs that are fast. Songs of this era, songs of the 70s, disco-esque tracks, start out with a slower pace in the beginning, or a slower pace around the bridge, or maybe a slower pace at the end, right? There's always a moment of surprise in them. And there wasn't as much surprise in it because it was cut so short in the beginning. When she started and she was just like, ooh, like, and then the sound, the shimmering that we heard. Oh my, the extravagance, the luxury. I knew this was gonna be a good one, you know? I had a sense, even if I don't like the production, I always love her vocals. So I was like, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna do this because I know that I'm gonna get something that I appreciate. But Jessie. You're outdoing yourself right now. I mean, again, another song that has more repetitive lyrics, right? We're shaking everything off. We're letting go of the stress. We're embracing that energy of the night.
I don't know where you were, I don't know what became.
There's something about a saxophone that lately I've just been so drawn to. It just adds that element of regality and, honestly, sensuality to any project.
It's not that I gave up, I just stopped trying. Hello, love, I just stopped.
And given that this is a song that I feel like has had the most lyrics, the most logical progression, but honestly the most vulnerability since we've started this project, to have that also be on here and to have it be a track that you're able to sway in comfortably, that feels like it holds you as it's making this admission of love, is overwhelmingly beautiful.
It's like pastel summer skies, electric butterflies. I have my mind made up on no more crying.
Her voice, the way she's able to use her voice in a way that is so soothing, that slides right in with whatever genre she's pulling from, is such a powerful talent.
What you doing right here? I didn't expect to see you. Hello, love, all dressed up.
I think we're still staying with that theme of opulence because I can most easily identify, and maybe this is just the spaces in which I've heard it most, but going to fancier restaurants that have a live band play, or even at times going to a jazz club and experiencing that. This song takes that regality and converts it into the way that you spend your time and effort and energy on somebody else. Or maybe even yourself, depends on what you take from it. And it also does sound like the bridge between songs of the 70s and a song of today. It's very new, it's very fresh, it feels relevant, but it also is pulling from those archives, those sources to create a direct link between the two time periods and spaces in which we could experience that sort of seductiveness without outrightly being sexy in a song, because it's the production of this that makes you feel whisked away. I love the echo of the band, the echo of the voices. The song has a tempo that matches the lyrical quality of going to work, getting off of work, starting your shift all over again. You get lost in that tempo, but it also energizes you to keep going. It also reminds me of, songs that we used to have that would be about work, and not work as in effort, but work as in going to work, that like talks about your day, that talks about what you'll do the next day. And it's from this era of music. Her voice is so smooth and buttery, and sometimes it just blends into the track, or it blends into the other voices that I'm hearing in those echoes. Another danceable track, something that you can definitely lose yourself in. But it aspires, or rather, it inspires so much confidence. I don't even want to go to work. I'm anti-work. I think working is stupid unless you're passionate, and the fact that we all have to do it is frustrating. But hearing a track like this, like when I used to go into my job, is something that would probably motivate me throughout the day. It reminds me that life is a cycle, and that I have to wake up every day and fulfill my responsibilities, and that it's okay to dust the dirt off of my shoulder and just shake off all the stress at the end of this long and difficult day. It's such a fluid song. And the fluidity in the track makes it feel so inclusive. I think it's very easy when you're using a band in more of an orchestral sense to make something sound like it is stuck to form, especially when you're using songs and deriving your inspiration from a time period that in its own way adhered to a lack of form. And this is me referencing more Black artists like the Commodores and Gladys Knight and even sometimes the OJs. You have to be as experimental with your soul as you are with your music, and this project has so much soul in it. Might as well impress myself. I'll buy a purple leather jacket. I want it. I love that she said she wakes up every morning and she's like, why am I on this planet? Oh well, I'm gonna go get a new jacket. Like, existentialism, no thank you. Let's just figure out what's going on with our day. Beautiful people everywhere, everywhere. Beautiful people, give me love, give me love, give me love, give me love. And then having that be a celebration of everybody who's here. Like, there's so much of this project that I know I said before was inclusive, but to then talk about how like beautiful people are everywhere. Beautiful people in our souls, in your bodies, in your minds. Swimming pool. Call your friends. Jump in. So many faces, so many places. It just feels like so much of this project is a celebration of how she feels about the world, how she feels about the people that she is around, and it makes you feel celebrated as well in her journey of celebrating herself she can also celebrate you. That's a very special relationship to cultivate between artist and listener. I also love that little opening, that dun 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 dun. Like, that was so funky. And then they added another layer, and they added another layer, and you didn't even get time to recover from the first one because they were like, no, we're building, we're building, we're building, we're here. Accept my message. I think it makes me think about how there's so much to be attracted to on this planet, whether it's in people or whether it's in nature, and having this exploration of our human nature, of the things that we need. We need to feel good. We need to free ourselves. We love pearls. We love luxury. We love opulence. But really, what is that feeling but a sense of being cherished and desired and secured? And then we love love, and then we have to go to work and we're starting all over again. And now we're here and we're like, everybody's beautiful and I just want to be with my community. Like, the pacing of how we experience our lives and things that we experience has been boiled down into such beautiful sounds that reinvigorate your experience with those moments. You know, you're wanting to be another version of yourself and you're wanting to let that person out, but you're anxious about what the world may see and what things may feel like. Free yourself is a perfect track to say, you know what? I only have one life. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to allow people to see me for who I really am, and I'm going to be the best version of me because that's who I deserve to be. I feel happy to listen to this today and to be able to have this album hold me today in such a powerful and moving and motivating way. One thing I didn't mention about the first track that I also really appreciated was starting with breath and sound and small vocals that made us sound like we were breathing in and out, or we were about to be titillated by whatever we heard, because it was a lot of like, like, I love that. It leans into the fact that this is a very danceable album, but also that dancing uses breath. When you are dancing and then you're talking and whatever, you're breathing in and out. Everything is a lot more audible as you're moving. So I love that little specific note because it reminds us that you should be moving when you're listening to it. The sexiness of this song is something that's maybe like a fifth of what Donna Summer would have put out, right? The lyrics aren't necessarily as explicit, but we do understand the context for this song. And I love that bit where it sounds like there's an old recording or maybe even MC playing, because it brings us back to that club atmosphere of sweaty bodies rubbing up on each other. And the lyrics about, you know, this act happening now, and if it ends, it's all right, I'll see you in the afterlife, is like, this is giving the sense of we are living in an everlasting fashion, that once this life is over, we'll be in another one and we will continue the vibes there. Like, that's exactly what the through line was in this time of partying, not just being a space to drink or to do drugs, but to be a space of enjoyment and community and connection. I love how funky this is. I think it makes me lean more into the freak me now aspect of it because it's funky, it's dirty. I assume like when you're dancing to this too, you have to move your body in ways that would maybe be more attractive to the people around you, so it inspires that. And we're going back to that representation of little wants, little needs and desires. What a soft request for a sexy song that is easily answered by the way you feel about it. And if it gets you in the groove, it gets you in the groove.
Jimmy lies, Jimmy cries, Jimmy's just like other guys. I don't need a rock on my finger or a locket and picture.
I also feel like the band was going off more in this one. I heard a lot of horned instruments, which I really appreciate, and I feel like they had more of an ability to shine because the beat was a little bit more simple.
He shake it and put on the top. Mickey has a wife and kids, he always goes on business trips.
This felt like Nicki Minaj's Barbie dreams going through a funnel of Lady Gaga's Babylon, But then we have Jessie Ware spin on it, where we're having more classical vocals. The opening was definitely more reminiscent of that ball culture, very instructional, even though we were just rattling off names, which is what made me think more of Barbie Dreams. Or rather, Barbie Dreams and other songs that are like call outs to people that you've dated or people that you won't date, or whatever you're saying about people in your life that you've had romantic, sexual connections with.
Shake it, shake it, baby, don't stop. Shake it, shake it.
This sense of security that's coming as kind of a demand of respect, in the sense that like she wants a ring in her finger. She wants to be that person for you, and these are the things that you need to do in order to get to that space. Really puts the power back in her hands. Using a bottle pop at the end instead of actually saying bottle pop, very creative. This project is a lot of fun. This is also one that I would say is less funk, less disco. I don't really have a genre for it at the moment, but it wasn't really swirling in those two worlds that we've heard a lot previously on this album. So I think it's very refreshing to have a song that is more pop leaning and something you can just put on right now and no one would really question it or ask, you know, what its influences were. I love how it opens. It feels like you're walking through the catacombs of something and there are just echoes bouncing off of you with the background vocals. I love how soft and serene it is when we're talking about this love that we have, the lightning in your life. I love that the beat sounds like ocean waves or even like marbles rolling in symmetry back and forth across a table. It has this beat that feels ongoing, magnetic, and like it is working in symbiosis with everything else with the song. Wow, a fade out. Wow. We have not heard anything like this on this project yet. That really surprised me. I don't think I expected to hear anything like that off this album at all, given that we've been in so much funk and disco. And it felt like it might have been the first move towards a pop version of what those ballads looked like, but I could see this being an interpretation of what that energy feels like. This, especially with the fadeaway, makes us feel like this song could go on for hours, that it's a feeling that will continue to permeate this person or these people as time goes on.
It's gonna take two hearts in and out of delirious.
We got back to the funk elements. We felt that danceability again. We also felt that sensual softness that we've heard in slower songs again.
Baby, when you touch my body, everything feels so perfect.
It brought everything home, absolutely. And it ended us on a lower note because we started with so much up-tempo, and given that we could be dancing to this, everything was sped up and exciting, and now we're able to rest a little bit and remember that the love comes from within all of us.
Close your eyes, keep them close to me. Hurry up, 'cause I'm worth it.
I'm surprised by this project. Not that I thought that it was going to be anything good or bad, but that it felt so cohesive.
I'm telling you that these lips are wanted in 100 countries, maybe more. These lips can testify.
Bring it back to her lips after we just heard her sing is beautiful because it reminds us that she is the vessel for all that we are experiencing right now. And when it comes to her romantic life, and I can now contextualize this in a way that it is about her dating life, it is about her experiencing life, we are reminded that she is the magic and the beauty of this moment. I feel like that song was the perfect culmination of everything else we heard in this album brought together in one song that will really unify the project for us. There's so many songs that I will pull from this and put in my playlist because it's euphoric music. It takes us back to a time where euphoria, or rather the heightening of emotion, the high highs and the low lows, was really the through line of what we were experiencing in the music industry. And I love that call back to that, but then injecting it with so much positivity that even when we are feeling the moments of longingness or loneliness, we can transform that into desire and solitude. My top 3 in no particular order off this project are Free Yourself, Begin Again, and Lightning. That's all I have for you today. If you made it in this point in this video, I appreciate you so much, and I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one.